Yada da 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 hidam. Yada da yada da da da. Yada da da da. Yada da yada da da da. Yada da. Yada da da da. Yada da 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 da. Yada da da da. Yada da 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 he die. Yaba ba he ya ya yada dum. Yada da da da. Yada da 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 dum. Yada da da da. Yada da da da. Yada da 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 da. Erev Tov, good evening. It is a yuck rainy night here. It's been like drizzling all day. What kind of day is that? If it's gonna rain, just rain and be done. But no, we're in for 2 days of rain. And so today was a different kind of day. There was a program that we co-sponsored at North Shore Synagogue with a IDF paratrooper. I'm not sure what's happening with my voice. An IDF paratrooper who was boots on the ground literally on October 7th, and for a few months past that. He was a wonderful speaker, Ira Kohler, 24 years old. And so I had the chance to bear witness to the unfolding of October 7th and beyond, a couple of months beyond. I think it's 100 days in Gaza after that. And to just hear the story firsthand and listen to people ask questions. And it was truly a humbling experience, and the realization that, people really put their lives on the line for the sake of others. He was a local, born and bred guy from the Plainview area. Grew up with Omer, who is in captivity. And so it was just nice to hear his story and to really understand it. Was he put it into words, which was, it's crazy over there and it's scary. And he said in Israel it's Israel is at war, and he said the rest of the world is really at war. That Israel is a scary place when it's, there's war going on, but the truth is all around the world is an even scarier place. Meaning, the ignorance, the what we hear on the news is just, people's own narrative. And it was, I don't know, I wasn't sure what I was going to be expecting, and I'm really glad that we were able to be part of it. And here we are now. And so the day comes with, gratitude, and the day comes with forgiveness, and the day comes with ease, and the day comes with difficulty. And every day is an opportunity to find something within ourselves. So as we close out that which was day 22, Chesed Sheba Netzach, love within vision, we're checking in on our words. Are we speaking truthfully? Are we saying the things that are helpful and kind, necessary and appropriate, with the idea that our hearts will live forever? And so our hearts are the continuation of that which was and that which is in this moment. And of course, that which is connected to going forward. So we close out that day. and we go to the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Linda, I hope that your time with Rabbi Jay today was great. How cool is it that you get to like be together in real life, um, when we're always face to face, but face to face here in the screen. So I hope that experience was wonderful. Bet you watched Zoom with Mike. Amazing. Just the opportunities to really bear witness to what has happened, and those that have endured it firsthand. It's uh, it's truly amazing that these people are able to share their story, and I hope that there'll be more short stories to be shared. I hope that there'll be happier news to report. I'm hoping that our captives will be free, and I hope that that is soon. So let's do some counting. Let's do some lifting up. Let's continue in this week of Netzach, this week of endurance. We can only hope that the endurance of our people, the persistence of, showing up for what's right. What the world sees is destruction. What the world sees is death. What the world sees is this like turmoil and injustice and the idea that we shouldn't be existing. But we know Netzach, we know persistence, we know perseverance, we know that we are eternally here with a purpose. So let's do some counting. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al svirat haomer al svirat haomer al svirat haomer al svirat haomer. You abound in blessings, eternal one, our God, sovereign of time and space, who brings holiness to our lives with the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Hayom shlosha ve'esrim yom, shehem shlosha shavuot, ushne yamim la'omer. This is the 23rd day, totaling 3 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. Here we are, Gevura Sheba Netzach, Gevura, the strength that we so desperately need, the discipline, the justice, the restraint, the awe, the direction and focus of life in the week of Netzach, realizing that endurance and ambition and perseverance and persistence is with determination and tenacity, can't even read or speak, the readiness to go all the way. Something about, there was always something as a kid. I was definitely a Nintendo kind of kid. There was always something to be said about the games that had a map, that had checkpoints along the map. There was a purpose, that there were little increments, that we had to go from one spot to you couldn't pass this checkpoint. It was also, for the people that like arcades. It was always the driving games, and it was mostly before we could actually drive. And so you would play the video game, and you knew if you made it to the checkpoint, the clock would extend, right? And you could continue to play on your quarter. Now the games cost more than $1, but it used to be you put your quarter in and you played the game, and if you hit the checkpoint, you got to extend your game, right? If we hit the checkpoints in life, then we'll be given another chance. If we reach this moment in time, then guess what? There's opportunity for next moment, but you have to reach the checkpoint. And so there's always a long-term goal. You needed to make it through the map. You needed to make it where you were going, but board after board, or, spot after spot, with the idea that we would get somewhere. And that's very much what the Omer is like. It's a little bit at a time. We do a little bit of work, a little bit of work, a little bit of work. It doesn't just say, hey, we start doing this thing today. 49 days later, just show up and you'll get what you need to get. You'll be fulfilled. There's little short-term goals, which is every single day a little bit more work in order to receive something. But setting ourselves up for failure is setting a big goal, realizing that you're not going to get there. unless you mark time, you mark progress, you mark the small goals in life. You got to keep things in perspective, right? So, day 23, Gevurah Sheba Netzach, is the strength that we need to endure. You got to have a little bit of self control, you got to have a little bit of restraint, you got to have a little bit of discipline, because if we don't have the healthy boundaries, we don't have um, a plan in place, then how will we have the ability to get where we're going? As we talked about in the beginning of this week, which is life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It takes a long time. If you get going too quickly in the beginning, guess what? You're not going to reach the goal, because you can't reach the finish line if you ran out of strength and steam. That's Gevurah. You can't reach the end if you put it all here in this moment and you have nothing left for the rest of the moments to get you by. But instead, you narrow it down, you lessen it a little bit, and it goes further. Psalm 23 on day 23 says, "My cup overflows." We should all have enough overflow, because if we have an overflow, guess what? We have enough to get by. But if our cup starts to deplete, how will we have enough? So on this day, the 23rd day, the 23rd day of the Omer, we ask for the strength to do what's right. We ask for the discipline to follow through on our commitments. We all have goals. Sometimes they're lofty, sometimes we also make commitments. And we realize after we make them, like, is this even achievable? And so when we're asking for strength, it's the strength to have enough to get us where we're going. That the perseverance to act for good, even when we don't see the results that we long for, even when we don't see the results immediately. Listen, we're in the, as you all know, we are in the age of instant gratification. And when we can't get it, is it even worth it? You're aggravated, you blow by, forget it, you change the goal, you change the activity, you change the end, because you can't satisfy it, because you need to be satisfied in the moment. And so if it's not the exact outcome that we want, then we don't even want to be part of it. But the realization that the discipline that we set for ourselves, the mini goals that we set for ourselves, help us to reach the place that we long for, that we really want to be at. Slow and steady wins the race. But Gevurah Sheba Netzach, strength within endurance, is the hope, the goal is that we're bringing forth good in the world. The goal is that we have direction and focus for love and for life, and that we have the determination to get there, that it's worth it. When I spoke this morning, we talked about the word tomorrow. And we talked about the work of tomorrow starts today. And we talked about dreams becoming memories, meaning you reach that goal. And we talked about tomorrow being the nickname for faith. I had a student, an old student. I have a lot of students. I had a student who's like 25 years old. I might have made that up. She might be 24 or 26. But anyway, she's in her mid-20s. Wonderful family. 4 kids came through our program. We know them for 100 years. And her boyfriend, soon to be fiance, but it's a secret, they reached out because he wants to go through conversion by choice. And it just so happened that I spoke to him and them, him and her, both of them together. I spoke to them right after the live this morning. And I said, I just have a question. Even after all that's going on in the world and the hatred, the radical hatred for Jews, you still want to do this? And his response was, I want to do this more now than I did before. And he's not converting because he's getting married to a Jew. He's converting. It's something that he always thought about. And this just happened to be, the vehicle by which he's going. So he'll work with me about study and all those things, and he will become a Jew in time. But we talked for a good while about, the work that we do today is really the only purpose that we're doing it is for tomorrow. If you have no idea about what tomorrow will bring, that's ultimate faith. And so our practice for today is to connect with others. This was a connection. I knew it was going to happen because she told me in advance, but the practice for today is to do one thing, one action that brings you into connection with others. This doesn't mean your regular connections. This means something out of the box. Connects you with others in a different way. It could be a conversation, it could be with a stranger, it could be with a relative, it could be with a friend, but it doesn't matter what it is. But one action that brings you into connection with another, that turns you towards the mystery, encourages awe and love, that is aimed at bringing forth good. Something that's going to bring you good, our people good, humanity good, the world good, whatever it is. But intentional connection, turning us in the direction of good. Having enough strength to push us, to keep our endurance alive, to propel us forward with faith into tomorrow. Psalm 23, verse 6 on day 23 says, "May goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, as I will dwell in the heart of the mystery always." So some of you may be more familiar than others with Psalm 23. Psalm 23 is one of those Psalms that there are people that say it every day. It's across faith traditions. It's most often, its place most often is at funerals. And that's a line in the middle, that even though we walk in the valley of the shadow of death, we know God's with us. But really the last line of it is the line that says, "May goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life." May we find the place of overflowing love, overflowing strength, overflowing ability to reach a place that we're going, but we don't even know where that place is. Yet we yearn for positive growth for ourselves and for the world. We are one human family, one heart of abundant love. Let's continue to do this holy work, to find our place in the world, to continue to count, to be counted on, to count up together. There's a lot of work for us to be doing, and there's a lot of personal growth that can help enhance our tomorrows. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Od Avinu Chai. One holy announcement is this Sunday, May 19th at 2 o'clock, Plainview Old Bethpage Community Park. There will be a Stand with Israel rally. Ira Kohler, who was the speaker today, and Alfred Weinberg, a Holocaust survivor, will be the featured guests. But we can't lose steam, and we need to keep on pursuing this idea that, we need to be present in the world. And so this rally is in recognition of Jewish American Heritage Month, And so we hope that you will find your place and be able to be there. And if you can't, to at least place your mind in those places where we lift up and we're proud of the Jews that we are. And if we're not Jewish, that we're proud to support the existence of our people. I'll see you, guess when? Tomorrow morning at 9:30. Prayer connection tomorrow night at 9:30. Let's keep our connection strong. Let's continue to have strength, gevura, within Netzach, the perseverance and persistence as we continue to push on. Laila Tov, everybody. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Od Avinu Chai.